one acting class, you're not suddenly an actor. So, if you take a class and your teacher tells you that you're suddenly an actor, like, no, run the other way. But demos are such a huge part of this, and demos are a huge investment, you know? You could easily spend $1,000 or more, but it's an investment. Notice how I said that, because if that demo leads to things that you get cast in, you're making the money back, technically. It just takes time. So I invested thousands, I think, over the years for classes, demos, multiple ones. Yeah, buying equipment through the years. Most people are expected to at least be able to record from home for an audition. Have a decent, you can get a decent $100 USB mic. It's pretty cool. And I want to encourage people that want to do this to practice every day by reading aloud, record yourself, just pick anything. Read a comic book page or a back of a magazine, read the news, do anything. Just build your confidence and then play it back and study it. Study commercials. I know commercials are the things we love to skip ads on and everything, but that's acting. It ain't the most fun acting, but it's still acting, there's still characters. So study, go to YouTube and start typing in various commercials and listen to those performances and start to analyze them. What about that performance made that actor book that role? Was it the way they smiled on a certain word? Did they improvise, or did they say something a certain way or emphasize a certain way? And then think about how you would do that differently. Because here's the key. People come up to me at cons and go, I want to be a voice actor because I do a great Vegeta impression. I'm like, well, okay, but he's cast. There's no need for any more Vegetas, so what can you bring to the table? So you got to go in there with your goal being show off the best of what you have as an actor, and hopefully they will remember that. Chances are you're not going to get cast, especially if you're the noob. You're the new guy coming in to read for someone. Chances are you're not going to get cast for your very first project, and certainly not going to get a lead role. If you do get hired, chances are it'll probably be for something small. Like that's what happened to me. I didn't immediately get Gohan. They kept me in the back of their mind and said, that was really good. But he's new. How do we know if he can do lip sync? And again, lip sync is that particular technical skill you gotta worry about for anime dubs. You don't have to really necessarily worry about it in video games or cartoons. Cartoons we record as a cast. That's the most fun. That's what I grew up thinking about. It's like, this is gonna be like old radio plays, where you look to your left like, that's Mark Hamill. And to your right, that's John DiMaggio, or Tara Strong. And like, what? Rob Paulson? That's the sound of my brain exploding with debris. Ew. Yeah, so I think I've covered most of this. Does this make sense? If people have questions, you can walk up to this lovely microphone here. Don't be shy. You know you wanna. Yes, sir.
What was it like when you got the role of Kengo in the second half of Eureka 7 and the movie Good Night Sleep Tight Young Lovers?
Okay, Kengo from Eureka 7, I got a chance to do that. It was very bittersweet. Bob Pappenbrook was the original voice actor for that, and he unfortunately passed away, a heart attack. But his character comes back in season 2. So I was asked to voice his character, voice match, to come in. That's when doing impressions comes in handy. But voice matching is just one little teeny tiny part of the voice acting world. So impressions, keep them in your back pocket, but don't make that the focus. The first few episodes of season 2, I did my best to try to match his intensity and his gravel and everything. And then I just kind of fell into what my own interpretation was. Tony Oliver, the director. Tony Oliver has directed Gurren Lagann, and he directed, he was Rick Hunter on Robotech for the old school fans. And he's just a super, super director. He says, yeah, you kind of drifted off voice, but you made it your own. So again, this is a huge thing, to go in there and commit to a performance and just make it your own. Obviously, the more time you spend with a character, the better you're going to get at it and all that. So If we ever get to dub the Buu saga for Kai, I would love to be able to just revisit that early Gohan stuff and Saiyaman stuff, because that was literally my first voice acting job, and I go back and look at it sometimes on YouTube and I cringe, but I'm also thankful because this is what people say they grew up on and they loved it, so I'm like, I could really redo that better now that I have 13 years of experience and I totally know what's going on now, which at the time was like, I'm just winging it. You like it? Good? Okay, thanks, great. People often say, did you pass out, doing the power-up yells and Kamehamehas? I'm like, I almost did. I know Eric Vale did, I think Justin Cook did, Sean may have. Yeah, but boy, the air doesn't circulate very well in a tight space. It's kind of like a TARDIS. You just walk in, but it's not big on the inside. So and if you got to fart, then don't be crazy and let it go in there because you're going to circulate it and you're going to stew in it for a while. And the microphones are super sensitive and very expensive. Do not touch them, and they will hear your food digest. Yeah. You think you can pick up? What was that? An elephant going to the couch there. That's what was going on. That wasn't me. That was just the squeak of the floor. And mouth noise, man. Smacky mouth noise. It exists. Microphones accentuate that. So we fight that with green apples and room temperature water. But yeah, sometimes your stomach's like, I was doing that for the first hour of a video game I worked on last year, and I kept on apologizing after every line. Because certain mics, there's different types of mics, right? And we're using this, what's called a shotgun mic, because it's very thin and long, it looks like the barrel of a shotgun, kind of. And it's very targeted in terms of where it is. Like if you move 2 inches too much this way, then suddenly you can't. What's going on? It's very, very important to stay on that one part. But it's so intense that it was pointed down at my face. So I'm saying the lines for the video game after every take. That was frustrating. But finally my stomach shut up and cooperated. As it does sometimes. Yes. Yes.
During the Lupin and Thirst First and Final Hall, how were you cast for those roles in those movies?
For which one?
In the Lupin and Thirst First and Final Hall?
Oh, okay. First and Final Hall. Oh, I don't even remember those. I remember Dead or Alive. I remember a couple other ones.